Hello and welcome back to the Sideboard. I am Ruben Bressler and I am joined by Twitter celebrity and magic writer Larry Swasey. And Larry has brought something quite interesting to the table. We saw Reanimator do well last week. We saw it make the finals. This is a slightly different take on Reanimator in which you have an infinite combo. So take everybody through what your deck does.
Okay, so basically it plays like a kind of mid-rangey deck. You know, you have Fiend Hunter, Huntmaster, Restoration Angel, except then you have Faithless Looting, Unburial Rites, Grisly Salvage, and Angel of Glory's Rise, which is the main piece of the combo.
And so the main combo involves Angel of Glory's Rise, which is one of the many angels from Innistrad block, particularly from Avacyn Restored. And it says that when it enters the battlefield, you exile all the zombies.
Yep.
And bring back all your humans.
Which is the key part.
From your bin, which is the key part. Now, the next part of the combo is Fiend Hunter, which is, of course, a human. Basically a 1/3 Faithless Butcher, or Faceless Butcher, not Faithless Butcher. You exile a guy when it comes in, and that guy comes back when it leaves. So Oblivion rings a guy. The third piece of the combo is Falkenroth Aristocrat, which basically just says sacrifice a creature, do something, right?
Yeah, so you get a counter if it's a human, which is the infinite damage aspect.
And so take us through how the combo works.
So basically, you play a normal game, you know, turn 1 Pilgrim or whatever. You want a Faithless Looting to dig through your deck. So at some point, you're going to cast Fiend Hunter, maybe get rid of a guy like a Gravecrawler or something like that, you know, because zombies can be annoying.
Sure.
Eventually, what's going to happen is you're going to have an Angel in your graveyard. And if you have an Aristocrat in play and, say, Fiend Hunter in play or in your graveyard, if you get Angel into play with Unburial Rites and you have an Aristocrat in these two, you can deal infinite damage. So the Angel comes into play, Fiend Hunter comes in, exiles your Angel.
Exiles your own Angel.
Right.
Right.
And then you sacrifice it to the Aristocrat.
To put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yep. So Fiend Hunter goes to the graveyard, Angel comes back in, gets back the Fiend Hunter, and then
you just rinse and repeat that. Okay. So it becomes infinite size. Now you say that you can also gain infinite life? And how does that work?
If you have a Huntmaster in the graveyard.
I see.
But you just add that in sacrificing.
The Huntmaster, I see. Okay.
And you can steal all their permanents too if you have one of my many one-ofs.
Right, you have many one-ofs. You have a Zealous Conscripts and an Angel of Serenity, which can wipe the board away. You also have a Thragtusk and a Gristlebrand. Has Gristlebrand made an appearance yet today?
I cast him turn 4. Well, I Unburial Rites him on turn 4 against a red-green deck. And then he Zealous Conscripted it. I untapped, and then I gained infinite life, dealt infinite damage. So
nice.
It was all right.
Now, one piece that you have in this deck that I don't think has really been seen much yet is Jared's Orders. How good has Jared's Orders been for you today? Probably
the best card in the deck.
It acts as sort of a double tutor. It acts as a worldly tutor and also as a entomb, basically.
Right.
And so that's been very good for you so far today?
If I could have a third one, I would, but I don't want to have too many 4-drops. Basically, I just, sometimes I just get Huntmaster, Angel, and then depending on how much mana I have, put one in my hand, eventually, like late game, just keep valuing out my opponent.
Nice. Now, I noticed one of the things that first struck me about your deck is just the mana in this standard environment is absolutely absurd. You're running Blood Crypt and Temple Garden in the same deck.
Yep.
In the same deck, you're running Cavern of Souls and a Vault of the Archangel.
Yeah.
And you're reliably able to cast all your spells.
The mana is surprisingly good in this format, especially because you have the M13 lands, the dual lands, and shock lands.
Yep.
So almost everything's coming into play untapped. The only problem I have is sometimes maybe the Cavern won't let me cast a certain spell, but that's why you have the one Borderland Ranger.
Sure, and you've got one Borderland Ranger and one of each basic, which is awesome. Looking quickly at the sideboard, I've got Acidic Slimes here, which sort of have not really seen a lot in the new standard environment. What are they chiefly for?
Well, I have a history with Acidic Slime, so I figured that I just want to catch all against Oblivion Ring, Detention Sphere, and any the graveyard hate, like Rest in Peace.
Sure.
So just kind of a catch-all. And post-board, I can become more mid-range and less reliant on the combo. So
right,
it's
you
just
have
there for that.
extra thrag tusks in the sideboard to become more of a mid-range
Yeah.
deck. Also, the Sever, I imagine, comes in when you become more of mid-range.
Yep.
You've also got Slaughter Games. Now, Slaughter Games has been catching a lot of attention as a good way to deal with the blue-white-red control
Right.
deck that won Cincinnati. Is that how you've been using it chiefly, or is that what uses have you found for Slaughter Games?
It's for the kind of mirror, and just name Angel of Serenity, and hopefully you don't just die to their Thrag Tusks.
Right.
Or
on
maybe you can
Burial
combo
Rites,
first.
for that matter, against other Reanimator
True.
decks.
And then I do name it Entreat the Angels against the control decks. I named it against a bank control deck. He didn't even have it. It was really awkward just discarding a card to see his deck.
Sure,
but,
sure.
Eventually, late game enough, I can just combo out.
Yeah, a lot of people have been high on this card because a Cranial Extraction style card you want against combo and you want against control. But the
Right.
problem is that it always gets countered against control, but this one can't be countered. So it's actually
Yeah.
much better than the thought hemorrhages of the past. So we're excited to see how you're 2-1 right now.
2-1, yep.
Yeah, we'll keep track of you how you're doing throughout the day. Thank you for joining me in the sideboard.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to toss quickly to a commercial break, and then we'll be back for round 4 of Star City Games Providence.
SCG Live is brought to you by Star City